I'm home.
Welcome back.
I went to the library after work and borrowed books. I also did some shopping. Here you are, an apple for you.
Yay! So we have dessert. Let's have a tea time.
Why not? Hello? Yes. Yes. What? Someone brought my purse to the police station? Hold on, please. Oh, my purse isn't in my bag. Yes. I'll visit tomorrow. Thank you very much.
What happened?
It was a call from the police station. I seem to have dropped my purse without realizing it. Fortunately, my purse was found.
Wow, you are lucky. How did they know it was yours?
Someone found my purse in the library and gave it to the librarian, so the librarian called the police.
You should thank the person who found your purse.
Yes, I want to do so, but the person didn't say his or her name, so I have no idea how to thank him or her.
Oh. Anyway, you were so careless. Before the police contacted you, you even didn't realize you dropped it.
I'm so embarrassed. For now, I've lived in Tokyo, Yokohama, and Sapporo. I lost my belongings in every town.
What did you drop?
Smartphone once, purses twice, icicles 3 times.
You dropped too much.
But likely they all came back to me. I think because I do a good deed every day.
I don't know if your daily actions are good or not, but I am surprised by Japanese safety.
You think so? Today, let me introduce the following 3 things. 1. Crime rate in Japan. 2. What kind of crimes are common? 3. Recent crimes.
Okay. Oh, but I'm worried.
What?
Today's topic is crimes, right? If a lot of criminal terms come out, it may touch on YouTube's regulations.
You have a point. So we should be careful not to use criminal terms as much as possible. Now, let's look at the number of confirmed crimes of the year. According to the crime report of the Ministry of Justice, the number of confirmed criminal offenses in Japan peaked at about 2.85 million in 2002 and has been declining for consecutive years.
It's great. The crime rate is going down.
Yes, as you know, there are many different kinds of crimes. It's marvelous that overall crime, such as theft and injury, is on the decline.
But there is still 600,000 crimes. Why is Japan called a safe country?
Good question. Then let's compare it to some G7 countries. The population of each country is different, so we should compare the crime rate, not the number of crimes. The crime report Trends in Crime in Each Country contains statistics that numerically prove the safety of Japan. Let me take the robbery rate. This represents the number of robberies per 100,000 population. 154.3 in France, 47 in Germany, 118.7 in the UK, 98.6 in the US, and 1.8 in Japan.
Oh, there are extreme differences between countries.
Yes, I think the most important factor in whether travelers from overseas feel safe is whether there are snatchers and scammers.
You can travel in peace if we have a lot of snatchers and scammers.
You're right. Japan has very few crimes targeting a tourist. That's why we can say Japan is a safe country in this sense. In the past, I have been a victim of a scam when I went abroad. I arrived at the airport after a long flight, then took an airport taxi, and was scammed with an exorbitant rate. I was scared because it was my first experience.
This is unthinkable in Japan.
Yes, and I yelled, I am abroad, not in Japan. Next, let's see what kinds of crimes are common.
Oh, the yellow bird is so big.
This bird is theft, which is the most common of all crimes, accounting for 67.9%. The rest are property damage at 10.4%, and fraud at 5%, and so on. By the way, the breakdown of the theft is like this. The yellow-green bird, that is, vehicle theft, is the most common at about 30%, and most of them are bicycle theft. I've had my bicycle stolen too. I named my red bicycle after an ancient Chinese horse called Red Horse because it could run so fast. So I was furious when it was stolen.
Well, I'm surprised that there is a human who named their bicycles in this world.
Because I was addicted to Chinese novels at the time. Aside from vehicle theft, shoplifting is at 20.9%, and car break-ins are at 9.9%. However, as I mentioned before, the rate of crimes, including theft, was decreasing significantly.
By the way, are there regional differences in crime rate in Japan?
As mentioned above, the number of crimes recognized is about 600,000 a year. Among them, Tokyo has the largest number of recognized cases with about 80,000 cases. So about 30% of the criminal law offenses are calculated to occur in Tokyo.
However, Tokyo has 1/10 of Japan's total population, so it's only natural that the number of crimes is high.
You're right. Therefore, we will compare the number of recognitions per population. The national average number of crimes reported per 100,000 population is 486.8. Among them, Osaka Prefecture has the highest ratio at 775.9 per population. Second place is Hyogo Prefecture at 626.5, and the third place and below are Saitama Prefecture, Tokyo, and Ibaraki Prefecture. On the other hand, Iwate Prefecture has the lowest ratio at 208.1. Nagasaki Prefecture, Akita Prefecture, Oita Prefecture, and Aomori Prefecture are also low. There is a 3.7-fold difference in the crime rate between the first place and the last place.
So we may say the higher the population, the higher the crime rate.
Yes. Surprisingly, this situation seems to vary from country to country. When I went to China, I heard that it was more dangerous in the countryside than in the city, but I couldn't understand at first.
That's in contrast to Japan. Many Japanese think the countryside is safer than the city.
As I said before, the number of crimes is decreasing. However, new types of crimes have become social problems. Let me introduce 3 recent trends. Firstly, I'll show you the data on domestic violence.
This is violence from spouses or lovers, right?
Yes, this is a graph of DV up to 2015. both the number of consultations and arrests of DV increased significantly, but there has been no major change since 2015. In other words, it means that it stops at a high level. In 2021 data, 76.4% of victims are women. In terms of the relationship between the victims and the perpetrators, 74.8% of all cases were married couples.
Many married women cry because of violence from their husbands.
Unfortunately so. About 20 years have passed since the DV prevention law came into force. During that time, the law has been revised 3 times, and an environment is being created that it makes it easier for victims to receive relief. However, the current main problem seems to be mental violence, which is called moral harassment.
This is a problem that is difficult to address under current law, right?
Yes, perpetrators are often violent to their partners at home, but behave like gentlemen outside the house.
So if the victim asks for help from others, they may not believe what the victim says.
Next is child abuse.
I'm so sad to watch this kind of news on TV.
Me too. We often see in the news that children are being abused by the mother's lover, someone who is not the biological father. But in fact, about 70% of actual perpetrators are children's real fathers or mothers. Oh, the latest information came in while I was creating this video. According to breaking news, the number of child consultation centers nationwide handled child abuse in 2021 last year was the highest ever. The number of reported cases of child abuse has increased for 31 consecutive years since 1919 when they began collecting data.
Oh no!
As a tendency in recent years, cases of direct physical violence against children are decreasing. However, mental abuse, such as their fathers hitting and causes their mothers in front of children, is increasing. And this mental abuse accounts for about 60% of the total.
This must be closely related to the domestic violence you mentioned earlier.
I think so too.
It's difficult to spot the problem because this is happening in the privacy of their own home, right?
Yes. Nursery teachers, school teachers, and neighbors often notice child abuse and call it to the police or a child consultation center. So it's important how the adults around the children notice the child's unusuality. By the way, when looking at this graph, it seems that abuse is increasing, but it may just be that the number of cases recognized has increased.
What do you mean?
The Child Welfare Act has also been amended several times to strengthen abuse measures and support. Child abuse used to be a private matter within the family, but now it has become a social issue that everyone is concerned about. This may be the reason why the number of calls to public institutions has increased.
Oh, I see.
Telephone scams have become a big problem in recent years. It is a kind of crime to defraud money by calling an unspecified number of people and making them transfer money to a designated bank account. In particular, many targets the elderly, and the type of fraud that deceives money by pretending to be their son or grandson is called the "It's me" scam, オレオレ詐欺 in Japanese.
オレオレ?
Yes, defrauders don't give their name and say, "It's me, オレオレ," and say like this: "Since I caused a car accident, I have to pay a large amount of compensation to the victim. I lost the company's money. I have to make amends. I got a woman with a husband pregnant, so her husband will take me to court. Defaulters try to trick you, saying, I need money urgently. Please help me.
Terrible!
Aside from ore sagi, there are also telephone scams by preventing it to be bank employees or municipal office workers and so on. 73.6% of the victims are women, and 85.7% are elderly people over the age of 65.
Why are they so easily deceived?
The frauder's trick is to make you panic and lose your cool. No one can stay calm when they hear that their son or grandchildren is in trouble, and victims say they thought they were the only ones who wouldn't get scammed. In addition, the perpetrator's complicity rate is remarkably high in this crime. In other words, it is a crime committed by professionals, so it is important to consult someone as soon as possible. I introduced 3 recent trends in crime to prevent these crimes. First of all, don't think you are irrelevant to these crimes. The second is to consult the people around you or professional organizations as soon as you feel something unusual. The third, try to notice something unusual in the people around you. Okay, that's all for today.
I want everyone to be careful and not encounter crime. Oh, by the way, do you always bring the security bottle along with you when you last bought it on sale?
I bring it with me when I walk down the street at night.
Just in case, you should check if the bottle sounds properly.
Well, to be honest, I read Amazon reviews after I bought it. It said, it makes an explosive sound, so I'm scared to check the sound.
That's not good. Check it right now.
Okay, then I will push. No batteries in it.
You're too careless.